But have we taken our time to understand those Nigerians in Niger Republic, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, who would also be captured as diasporans? The North are aggressively seeking for diaspora voting because the government is saying that they will not be diaspora voting even till 2031. And let me tell you why Tinubu is rejecting it. Do you guys know that we have maybe approximately 15 million Nigerians living in UK, US, Canada? But have we taken our time to understand those Nigerians in Niger Republic, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, who would also be captured as diasporans? You see, when you see the North aggressively pushing for a bill or for let me say an act, you must understand that it is simply because they have seen a lacuna. They have understudied how they can integrate their selfish interests into that bill. Also, for the bill of diasporan voters, why is the North supporting it? Why is Tinubu all of a sudden, who said it during his campaign, and so many political leaders who said that maybe we should start including diaspora voting, perhaps we will have a more consensus on a broader level. I think I will agree on Tinubu with this. Imagine if we start having diaspora voting. Are you going to tell me that the Nigerians, the Malians, where we have Fulanis, I mean, don't forget that Buhari spent about 100 billion to Niger Republic. He gave them not like a loan, he literally dashed them. Buhari dashed them. In fact, there's a video that went viral during the time of Buhari when he said that his second home, right, is Niger. And we have seen so many politicians who have said that. That Niger, that Mali, where there are Fulanis, predominantly Fulanis, that it is their second home. So you would see that if we in the South, maybe because we are naive, okay, maybe because we have this kind of straightforward mind, so we don't tend to look at things deeply. The North, when they are telling you that they want diaspora voting, then you must understand that there is a fire on your roof. You are about to set your roof or ablaze. Before we started pushing for diaspora voting, what have you guys forgotten how so many people from Niger will flock into the North to vote? How they do it? In fact, they will even come to Nigeria, they will collect voters registration card. Today, as we speak, even when the diaspora voters, the voting system has not been commissioned, it has not been inaugurated, it has not been initiated, we have so many Nigerian indigenes who have more voters register card than so many of us in Nigeria. I can categorically tell you. I will tell you that when it is time for voting, so many Nigerians will walk into the North. They walk into Sokoto, they walk into Katsina, they walk into Kano, they walk into Kaduna. They will go there. All of a sudden, the population of the North there will boost up, boom. And when that is done, that is when we say that na trailer load of votes they come from KKK state. No, indeed, those people are not. They are. Let me say, you know, when you say machinery, imagine those days that when we used to play football, you go and rent machinery, right? Machineries, yeah, come and play for me. Or even in exams, right? You know, in exams, some people who practice malpractice will hire some machineries because they are intelligent. Oh yeah, you go and write it. So the North most of the time hire electioneering machineries. These are voters who will come from the Niger. They come into the KKK states. They come into the neighboring states within the KKK states. They just there's this high influx in population rise, and before you know it, their vote is up there. And when they say they are seeking for the diaspora voters voting system to be, you know, activated, this is what they mean. I mean, how do we intend to increase that? Imagine if just imagine if Brazil was closer to Lagos or Brazil was closer to Oyo, just as Niger is closer to Kano and Jigawa and all that. Just imagine. In Brazil, we have Yorubas there, right? Good. Now, you can imagine the population of Yorubas in Brazil. The population in Europe, in Brazil, the population of Yorubas in Brazil, they are not less than 20 million, 20 to 30 million. Now, you can imagine if such is the case, because we speak the same language, all right? And whenever we want to have this election year, we might just easily call on to them. I better go into whatever. You guys should come in and come and vote. You get my point? This is exactly what the Fulani is in Kano, Jigawa, all those Sokoto, Zamfara. This is what they do. They will simply call them, come and vote. When it is time for census, they do the same. They understand that for census, they need to increase their population so that they can earn more resources. How the North have been rigging the system, this is what I am about to expose. And this is why they hate Tinubu. This is why they always hate any southern president, even beyond Tinubu, that tries to checkmate them. Let me remind you guys, when Tinubu became the president, all of a sudden, he was told that the terrorists, okay, most of the times have their bases in Niger Republic, which is the southern border of Niger with the northern border of Nigeria, that he needs to invade. We know what the northern senators did. All of them aggressively came out in one voice, in unison. They said, no, you attacking Niger is as good as you declaring war on the northern people. I don't know why they always bring this word of the northern people. They are so proud of it. Like, they are so proud of it. When you are taking an action for the general good of the country, they will find a way to extract that sentimentality that it is a target against the North. No, you can see how greedy and self-centered they are. Okay, you remember that when Christopher Musa came out, Christopher Musa said that all our northern borders are too porous. This is why we have so many Fulani militias flocking into Nigeria. This is why that they can easily walk in the night and walk out at the day. They will commit their atrocities over the night, and by day they are already in Niger Republic. That we need, Christopher Musa wrote a letter to the presidency. He wrote a letter to the Senate that Nigeria needs to be fenced. That we don't have to use a brick and mortar fence. No. That what we need to use a wired fence. That Israel did the same between Israel and Egypt. They did the same between Israel and Palestine. That in fact, Palestine and I think is Afghanistan or so, they also wired their fences, their borders. They did a wired fence. You know those that went against it. I know you do. In the past, during the years of Jonathan, he tried to do the same. Try to bring the initiative that let us fence our borders. The Northerners said that no, you want to separate us from our kings, our kindreds, our Fulani, co-Fulanis are in Niger. You okay? So you want to bring that division? No. They said they would rather continue to manage the insecurity. Now it is God's time. In God's time, it will be sorted. The insecurity will douse. So you see now, when they tell you that let us have diaspora voting, then the very day Tinubu makes that mistake, or any other southern president that gets in there, or perhaps a northerner goes there and say, let me move for diaspora voting. Are we the South? We, as they are calling for diaspora voting, we are not singing the song that let us fence the northern borders. If we are not doing that, my brothers, you will all of a sudden see that the votes coming from north is 200 million. And you look at our population, we're just about 250. How come? Why? Because the Nigerians, at least 50% of them will go to the north and vote. Period. Yeah. Because the Nigerians have an influence of the Nigerian politics. The Nigerians are part of the people that come and vote, who decide. You know, when you used to hear that Buhari, it is just as I speak right now that it just occurred to me that, you know, that very famous 50 million voting block that they have always claimed that Buhari has. That's 50 million. To be frank, that 50 million is not more than 4 to 5 million. The remaining 10 million is from Niger. No wonder Buhari spent so much on Niger. As a form of compensation, of appreciation, Buhari spent so much funds because I've always said, what connection does Nigeria and Niger have? Why are we spending over 100 billion? Look at the amount of money they spent from Kano to Maradi. Look at the amount of money that they spent on SUV that time that Buhari gave them about 20 to 25 SUV bullion vans or SUV vans. Each was costed at 1.5 billion, about 30 billion naira worth. And then there were so many other funds, grants that Buhari gave to them. There was a time they had, I think, a natural disaster. Buhari gave them about 50 billion. So now I decode and say, that diaspora voting that the North are seeking for is a clear, open borders to absorb their brothers in Niger. It's as simple as that. And we in the South will be the highest losers. Because I know that there are so many diasporans, most especially our Yoruba brothers who have given up on the cause of Nigeria. They will not vote. I know that there are so many of our brothers who are Biafrans, who are in diasporans, and these are the real diasporans, all right, that will not vote. But when you talk of the word diaspora simply means indigenous and citizens of a nation who are outside their borders. So if people are in Niger, if people are in Ghana, if Nigerians are in Sierra Leone, if Nigerians are in Somalia, they are diasporans. We cannot say they are not diasporans now. So you can see how the North will easily further deepen their hegemony. I've always said that Tinubu is a nightmare. Hi. No wonder they keep castigating and cursing him. He has understudied the way they use, this population manipulation to win census population and voting population. He has understudied it. The last time he said they will soon conduct population census, and what they will use is the NIN card will be linked with the PVC card. So your NIN, for me now, if I take my NIN to my polling unit or to the registration center, I don't have a PVC. Immediately my PVC is created, my NIN number will be on that PVC. So all the information must correspond. When he said this, the North cried out, no, wetin be this system wey Tinubu they bring? I think it's the NIMC, the Director General of NIMC right now, who is now working in collaboration with PVC. But if we must build a nation, this is how it should be. Our data should all be harmonized. Harmonization of our data should be the way forward. Because you cannot have Nigerian who have PVC but they don't have NIN. Okay? So these are the issues. We must have Nigerians, not Nigerians parading PVC. You should be Nigerians. If you are a Nigerian Fulani man, let us know that you are a Nigerian Fulani man. That means you have your NIN, you have your PVC carrying your NIN, your date of birth, your place of birth, everything is there on your PVC corresponding with your NIN, corresponding with your international passport, everything harmonized. But for as long as they do not want to, the North do not want all these things to be harmonized, they will continue to carry out their charade, their manipulation, what they used to threaten us in the South. I keep saying it that we in the South have more population than the North. I keep saying it. Look at the numbers of level of natural disaster. Look at the terrorism. Look at it. They said that in the last 2 years, nothing less than 10,000 to 15,000 people have been died due to terrorism. Those people are from where? North. Okay? And if you look at it, most of the Northerners, they all run down to the South for their livelihood. So how come the North, when we are talking about voting, census, how come that the North will suddenly have a high numbers of population? Yes, while I understand that Northerners go back to their state to vote when it is time for election, I understand that quite all right, because their politician will send them transport fare, they give them free buses, come back and vote and all that. Well, I understand that. But the level of mortality in the south is not near what they have in the north. So how manage? It is because you see that open borders that Christopher Musa, this chief of defense staff, called to be closed, right, remains to be opened. It is because of that open border between the northern Nigeria and Niger. If you take a look at the border, you see it there. Look at it on my screen. That level, that large of land mass, that is where they troop in. They troop in, they can easily acquire PVC, and from there, they vote. So this demand by the North, right, is a rat poison. And I am tempted to say this, that thank you, Tinubu, for rejecting it at this moment. Yes, because if we say we want to have diasporan voting, I don't think we in the South we win the North in the voting manipulation, because the population numbers that will come from the North, okay, that will translate to numbers of vote, will massively swallow us in the South. Thank you.
The meeting of the Arewa Consultative Forum was convened to tackle the growing security challenges in Nigeria, with a particular focus on northern Nigeria. Chairman of the ACF Board of Trustees, Bashir Dalhatu, highlighted corruption, poverty, environmental degradation, and bad governance as critical issues that require a renewed and vigorous fight.
As a matter of fact, we owe our people, the people of northern Nigeria, deep apologies for our collective failure to protect the region from falling into one of the worst crises in its history. Growing joblessness, especially among the youth, and the twin calamities of Almajiri and street children are all crying for solution.
The ACF advised the North to be ready to engage proactively in any upcoming constitutional reviews to safeguard its interests, emphasizing the urgent need to address the region's challenges.
Nothing can be further from the truth. We must put all and sundry on notice that the North is ready, now and in future, and would be willing to consider any proposals for changing the constitution as well as administrative structure of Nigeria that may be put on the table. If and when the occasion arises, the North will surely use whatever is available to it in pursuit of its legitimate interests.
The forum also expressed concern over the diminishing effectiveness of traditional institutions, which have been weakened by political pressures, thereby affecting their authority and role in conflict resolution. Abimaje Moses, AIT News, Kaduna.
Heart of the town, Kanamano. Lenny, heart of the town, the beauty of the town, Kahara Nama na Tairi Banene. Odion, na 40-40, Dion, a men over the doors of because Lequendenka across Sukuru, Lenny Nama. Leziani Lek and Nama Shinagari, Lenny Nama. Lene kanama shina gare na road wobi owere afugule mebe ya na emeni before lene nama na gare lene nama na akpari no pagode ni mu nwanne hey anyo every beautiful hotel legodi
mu ne mu tabbatar da cewa kusan kashi 70 ya zamanto mata da matasa. Amma kuma kam duk wani wanda ya ce wallahi zai yi sata ko zai yi corruption za mu yi fada da shi. Wallahi za mu yi. Ya isa haka. Kowane ƙasa tana cin gaba kan banda mu. Don mutane kalilan shi yasa ko da muka zo wajen interim leadership din nan muka zauna muka tabbatar da wanda za mu ba mutane ne waɗanda suke da kima, waɗanda suke da gaskiya da sauransu. So daga shugabancin jam'iyya za a nuna cewa shugabancin gwamnati ga yadda za ta zamanto. So na gode kwarai da gaske da wannan saduwa da muka yi, kuma na fata kamar yadda Allah ya kawo ku lafiya, Allah zai mai da ku gida lafiya, kuma wannan gidanku ne.
Sabuwar tafiya ita zami idan mu karya lagun zalunci. 'Yan ƙasa ku shigo jama'ar haɗa kai mu tashi mu kwato 'yanci.